I 35F, work as a senior investment analyst for a top Manhattan firm. But to my family, I'm nothing more than their personal ATM machine. I've been holding back from sharing this story, but recent events have forced me to get an outside perspective on a situation that has defined most of my life. Growing up, everything in our household revolved around my younger sister, 31F, who was a piano prodigy from the time she was 4. My earliest childhood memories aren't of playing with friends or learning hobbies, but of helping my parents, Mom, 62F, and Dad, 65F, get ready for her endless recitals. While other kids were outside riding bikes, I was steaming dresses, organizing sheet music, and being told, "Make sure your sister has everything she needs to practice." By 11, I was essentially running the house. Laundry, cooking, cleaning, it all fell on me. The excuse was always the same. Your sister has to focus on her music. I remember in 8th grade when I won the state mathematics competition. I rushed home so proud, holding my award. My mom barely glanced at it while fixing my sister's dress for a recital. "That's nice, sweetie. Now help your sister rehearse. She has Carnegie Hall coming up." That trophy ended up shoved in a box in my closet, buried with every other forgotten achievement. High school was no different. My sister was flown across the country for lessons and competitions, while I stayed behind, acing classes and quietly taking care of everything at home. My parents poured thousands into her career: private instructors, elite music camps, designer performance gowns. Meanwhile, I had to argue just to get a graphing calculator for school. When I once asked to join the debate team, Mom scolded me as if I'd suggested abandoning the family. "How selfish. Your sister needs a peaceful home to practice in. Do you want to ruin her future?" Family gatherings were always concerts in disguise. Relatives would crowd around to watch my sister perform, showering her with praise. I played the invisible servant, fetching snacks, tidying up, overhearing comments like, "What a supportive sister you are." The only time I was noticed was when something went wrong. If she flubbed a note at practice, it was because I hadn't kept the house quiet enough. If she got tired during a competition, clearly I hadn't cooked the right meals. Despite all this, I kept excelling academically. By senior year, I'd been accepted into multiple top universities with partial scholarships. I showed my parents the letters, excited only to be told, "We can't help you financially. Your sister's career takes priority. Besides, you're good at managing a household. Maybe you should look into being a housekeeper." Thankfully, our neighbors, the Wilsons, stepped in. They'd watched me grow up and knew how much I carried at home. Mrs. Wilson, who always treated me like her own, helped set up a work-study position at their accounting office so I could afford college. Mr. Wilson taught me finance basics, sparking my interest in investment research. They became the supportive figures my own parents never were. While my parents obsessively followed my sister's career, the Wilsons encouraged my education and helped me land internships that shaped my career path. During college, I had little contact with my family, only visiting for major holidays. But every visit was the same: my sister in the spotlight, me quietly serving in the background, my own achievements dismissed. The turning point came about 10 years ago. My sister was preparing for the prestigious Chicago International Piano Competition, and my parents were convinced it would launch her to global fame. They micromanaged everything, even down to her meals. Then disaster struck. During a brutal practice session, she severely injured her wrist. I rushed to the ER to find my mother hysterical, my father pacing in shock, and my sister pale, clutching her arm. The diagnosis: major tendon damage, possibly nerve involvement. Her career as a professional pianist was over. My parents unraveled. They burned through savings, retirement funds, even sold Dad's beloved vintage Mustang collection, chasing miracle treatments across Europe and alternative therapies. But nothing worked. My sister would never perform at that level again. It wasn't just the end of her career. It was like the end of their identities. My mom lived in her bathrobe, rewatching old recital videos. My dad lost his focus, missing bills and appointments. They both looked like ghosts. That's when their attention shifted to me, not in love or support, but as their financial solution. Around that time, I'd been promoted at work, with a significant salary increase. Suddenly, my mom was calling with, "Since you're doing so well, can you help with your sister's medical bills?" At first, I agreed to $1,000 a month. It felt like the least I could do, given everything happening. But the requests never stopped. Soon it wasn't just medical bills. They wanted a new car for her because buses made her anxious. Home renovations because the energy was bad for her recovery. Family trips for healing. Then they added me to their credit cards, just for emergencies. But their emergencies included spa weekends, luxury dining, and retail therapy. My contributions ballooned from $1,000 to $3,000 monthly, then beyond. Each time I hesitated, I was guilt-tripped with, "After all we've done for you." My best friend Rachel saw through it immediately. "They don't see you as family, they see you as a bank account with legs." I brushed it off at first, but her words stuck. The Wilsons were even more direct. "This isn't support, it's exploitation," Mrs. Wilson warned. The final straw came last week. I discovered $122,000 had been charged to my accounts for what my sister called a therapeutic shopping spree. Designer clothes, spas, luxury resorts, all justified as part of her healing. When I tried to draw boundaries, Mom sobbed about me abandoning them, while Dad lectured me with his old authoritative tone. "Your sister needs us. How can you be so selfish?" Then, yesterday, came the ultimate betrayal. While scrolling Instagram at lunch, I stumbled on photos of my sister's secret engagement party in Hawaii, a beachfront resort, 3 ocean view suites, a week-long celebration, all paid for with my credit card, nearly $60,000 gone in days. When I called my mother, she brushed it off as a little vacation to recover from stress. Then my sister grabbed the phone. Her exact words, "Listen, Miss Executive, you're not family, you're just the ATM. Nobody wants to hear about your job, just keep working so we can spend. That's all you're good for." Then they blocked me. The last message I got from my mom, "We're done with your jealousy. Leave us alone. Stop ruining your sister's special moments." Something inside me hardened. I calmly opened my banking app and began canceling reservations, cards, and access. One click after another, severing every financial tie. For the first time in my life, I realized I don't owe them anything. Not my money, not my time, not my soul. Update 1 rewritten. The moment I canceled the spa bookings and excursions, my phone started blowing up. Click, return flights voided. Click, Mom's card deactivated. Then came the flood of messages. "Mom, this is an emergency. Call me right now." "Dad, fix this. You're humiliating us." "My sister, you better straighten this out before you ruin everything." As the hours dragged on, their tone shifted. Mom turned pleading. "Honey, we can work this out." Dad softened. "We'll pay you back, just don't do this." My sister raged. "Stop being petty, this is MY engagement." Soon she went public, posting online. "I can't believe my own sister ruined the happiest time of my life. She's always been jealous, but this is a new low, toxic, heartbreaking." That was the last straw. I posted everything, screenshots, credit card bills, and the texts they had sent me. I exposed the secret trip, the unauthorized spending, and the cruel words. The response was immediate. People turned against their narrative, and friends messaged me to say my family was now scrambling. My parents had to borrow money just to buy cheap tickets home. They were forced to check out of the Grand WEA in front of other guests, and my sister's meltdown in the hotel lobby ended up on TikTok. But the real explosion came when her fiancé's family realized they'd been deceived. They had been told the luxury vacation was a gift from my wealthy parents, only to discover it was stolen from me. Now the engagement itself was under review as his family began questioning the entire relationship. I'm writing this from Rachel's guest room, with the Wilsons checking in constantly. They keep reminding me, "Family doesn't treat you like a bank." My accounts are frozen, my lawyer is drafting cease and desist letters, and for the first time I don't feel guilty. No sadness, no regret, just a strange, weightless relief. I think this is what freedom feels like. Update 2, rewritten. That Hawaii scandal opened doors I never expected. Days later, I got an email from my sister's ex-fiancé's mother asking to meet. We sat in a quiet cafe in Manhattan. "We had no idea," she said, clutching her coffee. "Your parents told us they were wealthy portfolio managers. They said your sister was only taking a short break from her piano career. They claimed this trip was their gift to unite the families." She explained how devastated her son was when he learned the truth. He confronted my sister about the stolen money. She laughed and said, "It doesn't matter. My sister's money is family money." That night, he ended the engagement. "I can't marry someone who thinks stealing from her own sister is acceptable," he told her. He gave the ring back and walked away with his entire family behind him. My sister's reaction was explosive. She went on Instagram Live, ranting for nearly an hour, blaming me for destroying her life. When that didn't gain sympathy, she started calling my coworkers, spreading lies that I'd abandoned my parents in a time of need. But by then, my evidence had already circulated widely. People saw the statements, the texts, and the pattern. Every new attack from her only reinforced my side of the story. My parents didn't escape fallout either. Dad lost clients, Mom's reputation in her charity circles collapsed, and the prestige they'd worked so hard to project evaporated. They've been bombarding me with messages, swinging between guilt trips and demands. We're still your parents. Your sister is heartbroken. You can't just abandon us after everything we've done. They even showed up at my office. Security had to escort them out after my mom caused a scene in the lobby, crying about her ungrateful daughter. Thankfully, my colleagues have been nothing but supportive, some even sharing their own stories of financial abuse. The Wilsons helped me lock down my accounts, change banking details, and file paperwork to pursue legal action. Rachel's parents offered me their guest house and reminded me, real family doesn't drain you dry. They love you for who you are, not what you provide. My sister's ex's family publicly sided with me too, exposing more of my parents' lies and painting a clear picture of the manipulation. Yesterday, I received a letter from my parents along with a promissory note for the Hawaii expenses. They suggested family therapy and weekly dinners to rebuild trust, but they never acknowledged decades of neglect or the hundreds of thousands they siphoned from me. I didn't even open it. I returned it through my lawyer along with a cease and desist. Some relatives are pressuring me to forgive. They're still your parents, they insist. But parents don't treat a daughter like a servant, a piggy bank, or a backup plan. I'm done sacrificing myself for people who never saw me as family in the first place. For the first time, I'm choosing myself. Update 3, rewritten. It's been a month since my last update, and something unbelievable has happened. Peace. 2 weeks ago, my parents made one final attempt at reconciliation. They showed up at my building with old photo albums and recital programs, telling the doorman, "We just want her to remember the good times." The doorman refused them entry, but they sat in the lobby for hours. Mom flipped through pictures of my sister's performances, pointing out the few shots where I appeared in the background, usually holding sheet music or adjusting costumes. Dad even reached out to my coworkers on LinkedIn, claiming I was unstable and cutting them off over a simple misunderstanding about shared expenses. My colleagues forwarded me the messages with their full support. Meanwhile, my sister's latest social media strategy is to paint herself as a victim of selfish individualism and money tearing families apart. But every post is swamped with comments reminding her of the receipts. The internet hasn't forgotten. Their last desperate move was to contact the Wilsons. Mr. Wilson didn't hesitate. "You've used her for decades. Leave her alone." I've since changed my phone number, shut down old emails, and even considered relocating. My therapist says I'm finally reclaiming my life, and for the first time in years, I actually believe it. My lawyer's investigation uncovered that my family drained nearly $287,000 from me over the last 3 years. They're now insisting I agreed to all of it, but the bank's fraud team sees otherwise. Legal action is underway. Meanwhile, I moved into a secure new apartment. My work life has flourished. Just last week, I was offered a path to partnership. The managing partner said my ability to handle intense personal challenges with clarity showed leadership qualities. Rachel's family has taken me in as one of their own. I'm at their dinner table every Sunday, and they're already including me in their Cape Cod vacation plans. "Real family vacations don't come with stolen credit cards," Rachel's dad joked. Mrs. Wilson has encouraged me to finally explore interests I'd abandoned, and I've started photography classes, something my parents never allowed because it clashed with my sister's practice. Some distant relatives still ask, "But what about the holidays? What about when your parents are old?" The difference now is that I don't feel guilty anymore. My therapist has helped me see that what I endured wasn't family duty, it was financial abuse. And I've finally broken free. Last weekend, I bought myself a painting that spoke to me. As I hung it, I realized this was the first time I'd ever purchased something purely for myself. Not for them. Not to make someone else's life easier. For me. My sister can call me selfish all she wants. I know the truth. I didn't lose a family, I found one. It's the Wilsons, it's Rachel and her parents, it's my colleagues who respect me. I'm not an ATM. I'm not a maid. I'm not a fallback plan. I'm free. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to leave a comment, hit subscribe, follow for more, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss the next one. Backhand index pointing right.